And we know already that books are digitized as well. So yes, we're drumming this factor into everybody now. So how do your clients reach consumers in the past, and how do they reach them presently? So in the past, we used to get subjected to various different advertising methods, via newspaper, via magazines, radio, TV, word of mouth. And we would be subjected to about 500 messages every day. That seems like quite a bit. Have a look at nowadays. We've got this whole mix of things that we're being continually bombarded by. We've got Google, we've got the same things as before with TV, newspapers, magazines and billboards and word of mouth. And then we've got the social networks and CNN.com and everything else that's online. We're getting bombarded with 5,000 messages a day. That's a lot. But the beauty of this is that we can actually select what we want to receive. And we can filter it. And we can say, hey, listen, I actually don't want to look at this stuff over here, so I'm not going to be a part of your group. I'm not going to follow X, Y, and Z company because they don't interest me. We were never able to do that before. So yes, the opportunity is online. We can see that 50% of people are spending their time online and around the world. 50% spending their time offline. Most of you are business owners or are working for companies. So most of you have marketing budgets. Can you just imagine if you have a 10% marketing budget, just for ease of use of the word. So if you have 10% marketing budget and you're not doing anything online, you're missing out on 50% of the people that could potentially be seeing your customer, your website, your products and services, your company, your brand. If you've got some of your budget going towards, maybe 20% of it going towards your online activities, you're still potentially missing out on between 30 and 50% of that target market. So what are they doing online? Sure, they're buying things. We've got 14% of people are buying stuff. We've got 27% of people are using email and communicating online. That's great, we all do that. We've got 12% of people actively using the social networks. More importantly, what does this graph show? It shows 42% of people are actively searching the internet to find more information, whether it be about your company or about things that you might be able to do. But this shows us that content on the internet is absolutely key. If your business is focused around a business-to-consumer market, so a B2C market, we know that there's always three conversations that are going to be happening. You as a business owner are going to have a fantastic website, absolutely brilliant, hopefully with huge amounts of content on there. Somebody's going to search, and yes, they might find your website, and they might find the information useful. Somebody else might just do Google searches or come directly through to the website. But more often than not, you've got a third conversation happening on the social circles. How often have you guys been to a restaurant and you've had a phenomenal experience, or you've been to a wedding, you've had a great experience? You go online, you tell your friends on Facebook about it. All of a sudden, you're creating that social interaction. A lot of the time, the people that we know on those social circles, well, I say we know, a lot of the time we probably don't actually know them. They're just acquaintances. But we're still trusting what it is that they have to say. So, your clients are being digitized. Let's go back a little bit here. 11 years ago. What significance does 11 years have? Put quite simply, Google wasn't around 11 years ago. Now that's already a scary enough thought. So, people were 11 years ago were using mainly offline media. So billboards, word of mouth, magazines, TV, radio, etc., etc. If companies were on the internet, all that they were doing is registering their business with a Yahoo directory. That's it. What are they doing now, today? Sure, we're still using the same offline avenues with billboards and radio, TV, etc., etc. But more often than not, we're starting to use the online platforms as well. With, yes, websites, and using CNN.com to look for various things, and using the social networks as well. More importantly though, what's going to happen in 5 years' time? What are we doing to think about that with our businesses now? Because that's where our strategies need to be. So, is your business actually being digitized? We know that lead generation Yes, we used to go from the offline formats, and today we're moving through to all of the online. Online credibility. You used to be able to just have a beautiful warehouse or a beautiful store, and it was fantastic because it had great signage. That was your credibility back in the days. Now, you need the same store, and you also need a phenomenal website. But in the future, what is it that you're actually going to need? Customer communication. How did we actually communicate 11 years ago, 10 years ago with customers? We used to send them flyers, junk mail. We used to send them discount offers, promotions, 2-for-1 deals. Yeah, we still do that nowadays as well. But we do it on the internet just as much as we do offline. Because every time that somebody hands me a leaflet at a Robos, I say, fantastic. Because all that they're doing for me is saying, please won't you throw this away from me? Sure, no problem. They can't do that when it's online. Where are we going in the future for it? How did we manage our reputation before? We used to have personal communication. So yes, if I had a problem in my house with the electrics, let's say, I'd find an electrician, I'd get them in. If they did a good job, I would recommend them to all of my friends, everybody in my sphere of influence. Today, we're doing the same thing online. But the same also happens with negative perceptions. Any of you have had a problem with the telecommunications industry, you'll know this as well. I recently just posted on Hello Peter something horrible about one of the guys. Why? Because the service was really terrible. So it works both ways. We need to understand that. But where are we going to be going in the future? So what is our preferred method of communication? We have 4 groups of people that we need to look at here. And this is probably one of the most important slides that I'm going to present for you today. We've got our veteran group. And we can see quite clearly from here, yes, they want to meet people. The different categories are all on the top, as you can see. They want to meet people, have face-to-face interaction. Yes, they want to phone people a lot. They use email a little bit. They don't use text messaging, and they certainly don't use Twitter. Let's have a look at baby boomers. Who are they? Sure, between the ages of 50 and 64, straight after World War II. Sure, they also want to have interpersonal communication. They use a telephone a lot as well. But they're starting to use Twitter. They're starting to use the digital formats. They're also using instant messaging. We need to remember this because it depends on who exactly it is that you want to target in your business. If you want to target veterans and you're using Twitter to do it, you're probably wasting your money. We need to think about it with baby boomers. So what's the next level? Generation X. Okay, so people between 29 and 49 years old. They're fairly savvy on technology. They know pretty much everything that's happening there, or at least they think they do until they have a small child. But we won't go into that. So yes, they also want interpersonal communication. Yes, they're using the telephone. Not as much. They're using instant messaging services. They're using text messaging. But they're starting to use Twitter a heck of a lot. Why? Because it's free. So the next level is Gen Y. Now you're looking at this going 8 to 28-year-olds. These are kids. Why am I interested with them? Well, because these are the future CEOs of companies. These are the people that are going to make sure that our companies in the future exist, number one, and are profitable, number two. So they're starting to use, as you can see, all of the social and the digitized forms of communication. Twitter, instant messaging. Yes, they're still using email a little bit. Yes, they still want interpersonal communication as well. So, Generation Y, are you ready to deal with somebody like this? You better be, because this year, 2010 in America, is going to be the first year that Gen Y people, numbers of them, outnumber baby boomers. That's a scary statistic in itself. I'm just going to talk very quickly about a business survey that was done a few years ago. It was 1,000 respondents around the world. And this was essentially showing how they use the internet and how they search for things over the internet. So what's the actual purchase research cycle here? We can see that only 10% of people, less than 10% of people are buying things the very same day that they're finding your website, looking at information. But those people are already in a buying mode. So if you're not targeting them, or if you don't want to target them, then don't spend money on it. Those people are probably finding you by going on PPC adverts, paid search marketing adverts. What's really important to see here is that the majority of people are taking up to 9 months worth of searching, worth of gathering information before they actually make that really important decision. We can see that yes, if people are in a buying mode, they want to be able to see prices easily. The same token though, they want product information. They want to be able to download stuff. So what does this actually show us? It shows us that content is absolutely key again. It's really important for the decision makers who are going to be spending money with your businesses. So we're briefly going to move into now an area that Astrid's going to focus on quite substantially after I finish talking. Where do people actually click? This is just a normal screenshot, normal search engine, screen. We can see on the top areas and on the right-hand side are your pay-per-click adverts. You can also see only 25% of people click on them. 75% of people are clicking on this organic search. So where do you want to be? Let's have a look at the positionings for the pay-per-click adverts. If you have number 1 position over there, yes, you're going to get 7.4% of the total clicks, etc., through the list. Number 2 there, number 3, 4, 5, etc., etc. Okay, hold on a second. I can see some cogs turning in the room here. Why is it number 5 has got 2.6% where number 4 has only got 0.3%? You know, when people ask me that, we normally just say, it's most probably because number 5 was written better as an advert. So people saw it, they preferred the writing, and they clicked through. But also, position number 5 might only have cost that company 10 Rand for that particular search phrase that they're targeting. Whereas position number 1 might have cost them 12 Rand. Can you imagine if you had 1,000 clicks coming to that, how much money you'd save? Okay, let's have a look at organic positions now. Top 27%, fantastic. All the way down. What does this show us? It means that if you're not on the first page of Google, people, you're missing out on almost 70% of the clicks that you could be getting. So if we do a quick comparison between the two, we can see, yes, it's great to be on the organic positions. That's where we want to be. But if you pay a little bit of money and you focus on getting those positions there, you can have the same amount of clicks as paying a lot more money by doing pay-per-click advertising. It's important to realize that as well. So, now the scene's set. Internet connectivity around the world. We know that online is really important, but as a business owner, you need to understand and ask yourself certain questions before you think about moving online with a real presence. What are your business goals for the next 12 months? How do you actually get your business today? Right now, where does that business come from? Who's your target market? And don't tell me Durban or the whole of South Africa. Define it. We need more information. How many more customers do you actually need to be able to meet your target? If you only need 2 customers, then you only need to spend enough money to get 2 customers. If you need 50,000, then you need a little bit more money spent. Okay, we also need to know how much money you make on your products and services. We need to work out that budget. What are your ideal personas, the people that are visiting your site? What information do these personas need? Because with that information, you can move forward. You can provide the right content. Most importantly, how much money you're actually willing to spend to gain another customer. So, let's see how we can duplicate your offline business to the digital online format.